If you want to know the secrets of existence and the true meaning of life, I can't help you. But if you want some book recommendations, why not try reading the ones I wrote? If you're a fan of giant monster mayhem and anime weirdness, why not try Operation Red Dragon: The Daikaiju Wars Part 1? If horror is more your style, you can't go wrong with The Occult Mafia. Those who enjoy their fantasy with a dark twist may be interested in Emerald of Maddox City. And if you're interested in shared universes, why not read all three? Hop on down to the description for links to all 3 books on Amazon. Enjoy whichever ones you read, and enjoy the video. So by now, the trailer for Godzilla vs. Kong has become one of the most viewed trailers ever. Certainly one of the most viewed trailers of 2021. Granted, it's only the beginning of February, but that's still pretty impressive. So, lots of people are looking forward to it, lots of people seem excited for it, I'm certainly one of those people. But as we learn more about the plot, the question arises, is there anything that's got me worried? Do I see any sort of red flags here? And having thought about it, there is one. But it's not necessarily the red flag you might think, and it's going to take a little explaining. The red flag I see is right here. I should specify, not the actor. I have no problems with him. My red flag, well, the potential red flag at least, is the character he's playing. When you look on IMDb, you'll see that Shun Oguri here is playing Ren Serizawa, who is being listed as the son of Dr. Serizawa, who appeared in the first 2 American Godzilla movies. And that has me wondering, since when did Serizawa even have a family, let alone a son? I've been pretty diligent in paying attention to the MonsterVerse lore, and looking through stuff like the prequel graphic novels or the novelizations of the movies, I've seen no evidence to suggest that Serizawa ever had a family. He always struck me as sort of a character who was married to his work, so completely devoted to Monarch and researching Godzilla and the other Titans that he never wound up settling down. And I think this is further emphasized by his relationship with Dr. Vivian Graham. How they clearly are more than just colleagues. And by that I don't mean that they are romantically involved, but more that it's heavily implied, and this is actually expanded on in the novelization of King of the Monsters, that they were more started out as Serizawa was the mentor and he took Graham under his wing. But as they spent more time together, they wound up developing a pseudo-familial relationship with him as a father figure and her as sort of an adopted daughter figure. That to me seemed like it was the closest thing Serizawa was ever meant to have in terms of a family. Now he has a son coming out of nowhere, and I have to wonder at that. I mean, it's not that they can't explain why he's never shown up before. We could very easily say that Serizawa's devotion to Monarch was basically the sort of thing that didn't necessarily prevent him from settling down, but rather prevented him from being there for the family he had. I know I said that the prequel graphic novels don't really show any evidence that he did have a family, but these things, they can always be retconned. They are not the A canon. The movies are the A canon. Whatever the movies say, that's what matters. And these become apocrypha, if you will, as the movies progress. So, it's not impossible that this could happen. So, why am I still counting this as a red flag? Well, it's because of another recent movie that tried pulling something similar and really screwed it up. I am, of course, speaking of Pacific Rim Uprising, which introduced the son of Stacker Pentecost. Yeah, John Boyega's character was Pentecost's son, who we had never seen before, and there's even more hard evidence to suggest that Pentecost was never meant to be a family man. I mean, in terms of the Apocrypha, if you will, Pacific Rim Tales from Year Zero very clearly showed that Pentecost was pretty much single, and the closest thing he had, if I can find the page here, to something like a family was adopting Mako and this one pilot who was original to the book and suffered similar radiation poisoning to him from piloting those older Jaegers, but it affected her much quicker. And this, I think, was meant to be the closest we were ever meant to see him actually being a family man. And of course, even if you count that as Apocrypha, we still have the fact that Pentecost treated Mako as his daughter in the original film. And the original film, like I said, that's the one you primarily go on. It would seem weird for him to have a different family that he's completely abandoned in favor of this random child he found wandering the streets after killing a giant crab kaiju. And the execution of introducing the younger Pentecost into Uprising was just one of many things that movie did wrong, particularly because it ruined the character of Stacker Pentecost. It made him look awful. It made him look like a bad parent. It made him look like he really didn't care. His heroism was completely shattered. Yeah, it just was not good. And a lot of people are thinking that Ren Serizawa here is going to be activating Mechagodzilla, who you can see the blueprints for in the background, as a sort of revenge against Godzilla, a way to get back at the Titans for taking away his father. That is all pure speculation at this point, of course. I don't think anyone really actually knows that, unless they worked on the movie. But if that is the case, is it really as revenge for taking away his father, or is it revenge against a father who he feels abandoned him in favor of these creatures? Now that could be an interesting plot, but the fact that we've never heard of this guy before and seen no evidence of him, combined with the role that he's perceived to be playing at this point, it has me on edge. I'm not going to completely write off the movie just yet, but it does have me thinking, if anything in this movie could potentially go wrong, this would be my first bet. Again, not a commentary on the actor, but a commentary on the story, if that's the way the story goes. Like I said, I don't think anybody really knows. That's just the one thing that's got me wondering. But hopefully my concern is unfounded. Hopefully this works out. I mean, like I said, we don't really know anything else about the plot at this point. It could go any way, and hopefully this is done well. I really do hope it is. I just figured I would let you know that I'm not just completely blind and devoted to this movie and thinking it's going to be the greatest thing ever. I do still have my concerns. I always have my concerns with these movies. It's just that this is the major one. But hopefully it all works out. We won't know for certain until the end of March.
If you enjoyed what you just saw, hop on down to the description for links to Patreon, DeviantArt, and all of our social media, as well as links for Operation Red Dragon, The Daikaiju Wars Part 1, The Occult Mafia, and Emerald of Maddox City, 3 original novels I think you'll really enjoy. Thank you all, and we appreciate your support.